Can Congress pass a farm bill this year? It's 6 months overdue, and lawmakers are still wrangling with the White House over how much money they can spend and how to spend that money. Today I have Mike Spradling, president of the Oklahoma Farm Bureau, who's in town this week with about 100 other Oklahoma farmers to press Congress to get a farm bill passed. Mike, tell me why it's so urgent for a new farm bill to get passed. The last one was passed in 2002, and you're basically still operating under some extensions of that bill right now. Why do you need a new one?
Well, one reason we do, certainly, is because a lot of our wheat farmers in Oklahoma are planting this crop, putting it in the ground, and it's already in the ground.
Right.
And they have, no idea what kind of program they're planning right now. It's very important because right now, of course, certainly a lot of people think, well, commodity prices are high and everything, but on the other side, the inputs are tremendously high.
Sure.
So this puts a very dangerous situation for growers not only in Oklahoma, but all across this country. Once those prices, and sooner or later they will, they're going to come down. But will the inputs come down proportionally? Probably not. And so they're going to be caught in a very dangerous situation here.
There's been talk of, because they can't seem to reach an agreement, of possibly just extending this farm bill for another year or so. From what I understand, most producers have been pretty happy with the 2002 farm bill. If they just decided to extend it till next year, what would be the repercussions for Oklahoma farmers?
Well, certainly we prefer to go ahead and let's address this thing now. And because, again, the longer it's extended, the more uncertainties are out there. And, of course, with the cost of things going the way they are, there may be less money left then in a year from now than what we have to deal with now. So we need to address this now. We need a farm bill now.
The part of the hang-up is how much more money can they spend above what's called the baseline. That's Washington jargon. Basically, they've decided they can spend $10 billion more if they can find a way to offset it either with taxes or spending cuts. How would you like to see that extra money spent? There's talk about conservation or nutrition. I mean, which would be the best route to go, do you think?
Well, certainly for what we consider, the true producer of this country, we need to keep it in the commodity program. We're real concerned about taking it out, putting in conservation, nutrition, or at least taking out enough that's going to really affect the true producers of this country. So there's one thing we want to be certain that there's still enough money left in there to provide that safety net that's so much needed for the growers.
With the crop prices as high as they are, it's record right now for wheat, right, and corn. What is there something in the way the new farm bill is written that would address those prices falling? I mean, is there still the safety net in there? Obviously, you said a moment ago that those prices aren't going to last. Is the safety net still in the current version of the farm bill that would allow farmers to still stay afloat if these prices drop precipitously?
Well, that's the thing, the three-legged stool, we would be certain it's there. And but that's hard to tell because, again, we don't have one yet. They haven't gone to conference, so we don't know exactly how this thing's going to wash out when it's all said and done.
The White House has been kind of, and the USDA has been kind of insistent that there be, quote, reforms in this farm bill. And one of the ones that they keep talking about are payment limitations, which is a limit overall on how much a single producer could collect in farm subsidies in a single year. What's the Oklahoma Farm Bureau's position on that? Would that affect many if they went from, I think it's about 1 million now, to 250,000, I think Grassley has proposed? Would that have a major impact in Oklahoma?
Well, it certainly could on some of the growers, and we'd like to see those payment limitations kept up to a level certainly that those farmers could live with. So we are concerned about bringing those payment limitations down. Is it mainly cotton farmers, or are there wheat growers and others who? Well, it's both. Of course, the cotton farmers, they rely on that a tremendous amount, and that's one of those crops that certainly you never know about. And the same way with the wheat guys last year. On the Easter freeze, we destroyed a tremendous amount of the wheat crop in northern Oklahoma, and so we've got to have those guarantees there.
One of the perspectives of the wheat farmers is that the way the current safety net works is that if you don't have a crop, if there is a really bad disaster in a given year, the safety net, besides the direct payments, there's really nothing there for the wheat farmers. If you don't have a crop, you don't get paid.
Well, of course, that's one thing. You mentioned a disaster. We'd still like to see a permanent disaster bill put in the farm bill.
Right. And that's still under discussion, I
understand. Yes, it is.
And who do you plan to meet with this week, and what do you plan to tell them?
Well, we'll be meeting with all 5 of our congressmen and then also our 2 senators. And we're going to be speaking certainly on these issues as well as transportation. We're working on a transportation bill with Congressman Bourne and Congressman Fallon in Oklahoma. We're very concerned about the inequities between states.
Right.
We have a 10,001 limit. Once you go beyond that, then you're looked at a commercial operator when we cross state lines or get out of a 150 air mile radius of the ranching operations. We're trying to get something that's going to be consistent all across the United States, whereby when we enter from one state to another, we're still in compliance, not into the CDL portion of it. And we're trying to get that lifted up to 26,001 pounds.
I see. And the Oklahoma lawmakers, at least as far as the Farm Bill are concerned, they've all been supportive. They all voted, right, except for once it got the extra money, and then the Republican House members, of course, because there was a tax increase.
It
but
looked
before
to them
that,
as a tax increase,
right,
but no, they're very supportive
of the
it.
farm programs as they are, without raising taxes to fund them. And then both senators also voted for the Senate.
Of course, we're very fortunate to have Congressman Lucas that has a very good understanding of the Farm Bill.
Right, may even be the top Republican here pretty soon on the
We feel very fortunate to have him sitting here.
Well, Mike, thanks so much for coming in, and good luck this week.
Well, thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Chris Casteel at the Washington Bureau. Look for more on the Farm Bureau's visit to Washington this week in the Oklahoman.